Welcome to Philosophy 101. My name is James Hall, and I'll be your instructor for the course. I just want to do this quick introduction video, because sometimes I'll be talking over PowerPoint, other times we'll be using whiteboards and so on, so you won't always see me, but I want you to have an idea of who you're working with. Some other things about me, introduce myself a little bit. I'm currently in the PhD program in philosophy at ASU. I did my bachelor's there, went to University of Colorado Boulder for my master's. Now I'm back at ASU. I'm in the dissertation phase, so I'm essentially just writing a gigantic book on the parts of philosophy I'm interested in right now. I'm interested in all areas of philosophy: metaphysics, epistemology, ethics, morality, political philosophy, logic. But my major focus, where my PhD work is in political philosophy. And so what are some interesting questions in political philosophy? I think the most interesting question is whether or not we have a duty to obey the law. Right? So whether or not we have any obligation. Do we obey the law just because we're scared of being punished? Just because we think it's practical, right? So it's really practical for us to obey the law because then we don't have to pay fines or get thrown in jail and lose our freedom, right? So those are some practical reasons. Those might be practical obligations. But do we have any real duty, any moral obligation to obey the law? And some people think we do. Some people say voting in a democratic process is a form of us giving our consent to be ruled by the government. So that's just sort of one way it can happen. But we'll talk about this in more detail later on in the semester. That's toward the end. Right now, we're going to start off with some logic and some ancient philosophy to talk about some metaphysics, or what's the nature of reality. So that's going to be coming in week 1. So some other stuff about me, if you're interested. I'm also, outside of philosophy, into writing music, recording music. I play a lot of video games. I'm into powerlifting. But yeah, those are the big things about me. So philosophy, those 3 things. If you ever have any questions about me or the course, always feel free to email me. I want you comfortable. I want you learning. So anytime you need to reach out to me, I normally take I'll respond within the day to any emails that I get. Okay, so final information in the introduction. I know it probably sounds like a little bit of a broken record at this point if you've been reading the syllabus and reading what's above me. But read through the syllabus and really commit some of it to memory, right? So especially what your assignments are. So here are the big things I want you to remember, right? You have essentially 2 major assignments due every week, and one of those assignments is a 2-parter. So every week you'll have reading and lecture. Make sure you do the reading, certainly. Make sure you watch the lectures. There's going to be required reading every week, sometimes optional reading. If you have time, I highly recommend the optional reading, obviously. It'll just help you learn more, which is why you're here. So after you do the reading, every Wednesday, you'll have a short writing assignment due. And so there'll be a prompt, which you can find on the discussion board, or you can go into your module for the week and then find the discussion. And you'll submit a 2 to 3 paragraph short writing assignment responding to that prompt. And here I'm looking to make sure you understand the material, but also to make sure that you've done some independent thinking of your own, right? So the only goal isn't just to memorize a bunch of stuff. That wouldn't be very useful. I want to make sure you understand it and then show me that you've spent some time independently thinking about it, right? Think about what the author says. Is it right? Can you come up with any objections to it? So that's what the major focus of the writing assignment is. After that, every Friday, right? So Wednesday's your discussion board. Every Friday, you'll have a quick quiz to do. It's a 10 question true or false multiple choice. Sometimes short answer, but mostly just true or false and multiple choice. You'll have 15 minutes to complete that. But it's open quiz, open note, open book, all of that. But remember, you only have 15 minutes to complete all 10 questions, so you can't spend a lot of time flipping through notes or flipping through the book. But those should be pretty easy if you've done the reading, done the lecture, and thought about it a little bit for yourself. And then also due every Friday will be the evaluation writing assignment. So here you'll go into the discussion board, you'll pick any other student's writing assignment for the week. It can be a duplicate, right? So if somebody's already given an evaluation of this student, you can do the same thing. And so you spend about a paragraph or two evaluating that student's assignment. And how can you evaluate? Well, you can either say, hey, I think you misunderstood the view of this philosopher. Here are some suggestions for improving your explanation of the view. Or you can say, hey, I think you explained their view correctly, but your writing's just not as clear as it could be. Right? So here are some ways in which I suggest you can improve the clarity of your writing. And so maybe they're using confusing words when they could be using terms that are easier for everybody to understand, right? They could convey their ideas better. So you can suggest how they can do that. Or you can say, okay, I think you got it right. I think your writing is clear. But here's a really important objection to the view you're talking about that I don't think you have thought about yet, or even if you have, here's some more food for thought. And so there are a bunch of different ways in which you can help them improve. And so the major goal of this assignment is to make sure we're helping each other understand the material for that unit of the course. I've said this before, above, said it in the syllabus, but it's super important. If there are any sort of insulting comments or demeaning language in your evaluations, you'll lose your points for that week. So that doesn't mean you can't be critical of another student's work, right? You can say, hey, I think you're wrong, and here's why. But that's very different from insulting or demeaning them. And insults and demeaning behavior won't be accepted. You'll lose your points for the week. I'm sorry I keep saying that in text and right now, but I want to make sure that's clear. Other than that, we're just going to try and help each other through, right? We're going to make sure we're helping each other foster a community of understanding. Good. And then if you have any questions or anything else, feel free to email me. So at this point, you can scroll down, and it should be over here. Click on Next, and it'll take you to the syllabus quiz. And then after that, you're free to start on week 1 of the course. And like I said, email me if you have any questions, and good luck.